Hi, it's Leanne here from healthy.co.nz. Today I wanted to talk to you about the different weight loss products that we stock. Now, weight loss is not a term that I usually use, and the reason why is because we shouldn't really be concerned about what our total body weight is, more what our fat level and our muscle mass is. What our body's made up of. This is really what we want to be focusing on. We hop on the scales and we weigh our total body mass, but our mass is made up of so many things. Our organs, our tissue, our bones, water, as well as fat and muscle. So I think it's important when we're dieting that we use the term fat loss rather than weight loss, because the last thing that we want to be doing is losing some of our valuable muscle. Our muscle mass determines our metabolic rate, how fast we can burn energy. So often when we go on weight loss programs, it's not just our fat that we'll lose, it's some of this valuable muscle as well. Muscle is where energy is produced. So if we lose our muscle mass, our metabolic rate slows down and we can't produce energy any longer, and hence we cannot burn fat efficiently. So one of the last things we want to be doing when we're on a diet is losing our valuable muscle. If anything, we want to be doing everything we possibly can to make sure that our muscle mass remains either as it is or becomes even bigger. So we stock a lot of different products specifically for fat loss, and it's really hard to know which one to choose. So today I wanted to go over some of the main products that we have and just explain to you the difference between them so you can choose more wisely. So the first thing that I wanted to talk to you about were thermogenic products. Now we hear about this word thermogenics, but what does it actually mean? A thermogenic is when we take a substance into our body, a stimulant, that speeds up our metabolic rate so that our body uses our fat as our fuel source. So natural ingredients that produce a thermogenic effect are things like bitter orange, guarana, green tea, yerba mate. These are common things to find in thermogenic products. So we stock lots of different thermogenic products, but probably one of our most popular is the Thermoslim from Microgenics. This is a pretty supersonic product. It has so much bitter orange in it that, by crikey, it's pretty stimulating. In fact, one tablet gives you a huge 6,000 milligrams or 6 grams of bitter orange. Now bitter orange provides you with like an ephedrine type effect, speeds up your metabolic rate, and you definitely feel warmer when you take it. This is a combination of most of those ingredients that I just talked about. So this is a pretty supersonic, one a day thermogenic product. There's no way you'd want to take a product like this at night time because you will not sleep. It's the kind of thing that you take, say, after you've had breakfast, generally only one a day. So the benefits of thermogenics are that they can help us if we've started a fat loss program and we need a bit of a kickstart, something to really get us going. A thermogenic could definitely help you with that, speeding up your metabolic rate and giving you a lot more energy and power to do that exercise better. Problems with thermogenics? You definitely should not take a thermogenic product or any product that has bitter orange, green tea, guarana or yerba mate if you have high blood pressure, if you suffer from anxiousness or anxiety, because these ingredients will tend to make these conditions a lot worse. So even if you have mild hypertension, do not take a thermogenic. You must choose something different. It is not safe. So another product that we have are those that contain Julio. Julio is a succulent, a bit like a cactus, and Julio helps to manage appetite and food cravings by tricking our brain into the sensation of energized fullness. Julio has been used for a long time, and it's been used by the San Bushmen of in South Africa as a way of controlling hunger and thirst during hunting expeditions in the Kalahari Desert. It's been shown that Julio offers an effective appetite suppressing effect, and myself, I've used Julio, and I must say I really liked the action of it. It takes a little while to kick in, probably about 5 to 7 days, so it's not going to work the moment that you first start taking it. But I really noticed quite a difference when I took Julio. Now, what I noticed was if I was at home or had a moment where I wasn't really doing anything, those kind of idle moments, rather than standing in front of the fridge or the pantry thinking, oh, what can I eat? I lost all of those feelings. I just didn't feel like doing that any longer. It was very interesting. So it tricks your brain into feeling satisfied already, so you're not constantly looking for more carbohydrates or more calories. One of the benefits of Julio is that it's not a stimulant. So if you do have high blood pressure, it's one of the safer choices. The Julio from Radiance is great because it has a fibre in it called glucomannan, and this helps to fill you up and gives you even more of a satisfied feeling. So the Radiance Julio Power Slim, an excellent choice for those, say, who have high blood pressure but still want some kind of appetite suppressing effect. So another type of product that we have for fat loss is the fat blocker. This one's from NFS and it's called Fat Binder Max. Now how these work is they contain in something called chitosan. And chitosan comes from ground shrimp and crab shells. And chitosan has an amazing ability to bind with fat from the food that you eat and prevent you from absorbing it. It works in a similar way to the pharmaceutical Xenical. So it's one of those cheat pills. So if you want to be naughty and have some fish and chips or have a big pork roast or have something else really greasy and fatty, what you do is you have the fat binder or fat blocker beforehand, and then when you consume the fatty meal, the chitosan binds with that fat because it's hygroscopic and prevents you from absorbing it and eliminates it out of your body. So the benefits of using something like fat blocker are that it's fine for people who have high blood pressure because it's not a stimulant. Negatives of a fat blocker are that it could make some people's bowel a little bit loose, particularly if you're using quite large amounts of it. Say if you were having 3 fatty meals a day and you took it 3 times a day, probably would make your bowel a bit loose. The other negative of fat blockers or anything that contains chitosan is that it's non-specific in the type of fats that it binds with. So not only does it bind with those bad saturated fats, it will also bind with your good fats as well. So if you had a meal that had lots of flaxseed oil and some salmon that had all of those beneficial fats, and you take chitosan, you won't absorb it. So very important to be aware of.